Matthew Ward's message. July 4, 2013. U.S. Independence. God, politics, 3 levels of participation, assessing candidates. Multiple effects of prevailing vibrations. Memory loss. Dietary benefits. Balance. With loving greetings from all souls at this station, this is Matthew. From our vantage point, Earth looks like a sea of strobe lights as people are responding to the prevailing vibrations. You are feeling what is going on much more than seeing developments. We will get back to that, but first we want to give you an important glimpse of history that relates to the United States celebration of its independence from England with traditional 4th of July parades, patriotic speeches and fireworks. The highest universal council meant for the colonies that fought for independence from British rule to be a showcase of soul sovereignty. Once united, this nation was to have shown the rest of the world that when people are free to exercise God-given rights, they live peacefully, cooperatively, creatively and prosperously. Successive waves of early settlers followed their urge to be free, and the founders of the United States acted upon their divinely inspired mission to form a nation that guaranteed civil liberties, however limited those were in the beginning, since many in the population were excluded. The darkness that was heavily entrenched on the planet enabled slavery to flourish and denied women the right to vote. Those exclusions mattered not a whit to the Illuminati, whose power, in part, was seated in England's royal family. They were not about to forfeit control of the free populace or the land's vast wealth of natural resources, and they swiftly extended their European empire across the Atlantic. Through the top figures in industries, banks and government, and later sneaking into law the Federal Reserve System that in no way is a federal institution, the Illuminati regained control of the United States. During the centuries since they extinguished the beacon that nation was intended to be for your world, they kept spreading their network of corruption and deception until it was global. Now that the network is losing the remaining remnants of its former power, step by step you are consciously claiming the sovereignty that always has been yours as the God and Goddess selves you are. Now then, whenever our messages include politically related information, readers email their objections. This is one of the more gracious comments. If the messages are to prepare us spiritually for ascension, as Matthew has said, he should stick to that and stop trying to influence our political opinions. Rather than explain again why we speak about political issues and their importance in the context of ascension, Earth's and your societies, I have asked my mother to copy what God said about this. The following, an excerpt from the chapter Be Informed and Act and Voices of the Universe, was transmitted October 4, 2003. The politics that controls all countries, all peoples, all economies and resources of your planet homeland has been instrumental in bringing your world to the devastated state it's in. In no country on earth are people free. For millennia the dark souls of civilizations beyond your planet have been influencing their willing earth brothers and sisters in leadership positions to deceive and intimidate the rest of the people. Regardless of who holds national leadership roles, they rule by the dictates of those forces that are unknown to the people and perhaps even to the rulers. The influence of those dark alien puppeteers has resulted in all declarations of war and all decisions regarding economies and resources of the world. Their secondary aim is increasing the control and wealth of Earth's leaders, whose greed for power makes them eager puppets. Thus today you have a world with unprecedented concentration of vast riches, impoverished nations, willful environmental destruction and corruption oozing out of corporate connections with governments. The ultimate aim of the puppeteers is annihilation of your planet. That will not happen, but beneficial changes for all require a change in the character of your world's leaders. Voices must be raised with demands for leaders of spiritual integrity. That kind of character is exemplified, not merely proclaimed. I don't mean that no leaders ever have been strong and virtuous or that no voices ever have been raised to protest injustice and inequities. Indeed, there have been those individuals. Many of those brave souls suffered or died for that, and much of their good works has been undone by succeeding generations who blindly followed self-serving leaders. Now, the collective will of the people is rising to expose and oppose this situation. As lies are exposed, more lies are being told, and those will be exposed too. Tyrannical regimes must and shall change. Although plans are afoot for this peaceful revolution through a joint effort between your civilization and many of your space family, that does not absolve any of you who desire a finer, brighter world from the responsibility of helping to create it. You all chose to be where you are at this time precisely so you could do exactly that. Actually, some of you embodied in other lifetimes as great leaders on Earth and well beyond, and you are back now to take on similar inspirational and constructive roles. It is on 3 levels that you must act so that honorable governing bodies will be achieved. The first level is spiritual, and I'll tell you what spiritual is not. It is not membership in any of the multitude of your religions. It is not the self-righteousness that is evident in great abundance. It is not escaping into a head-in-the-sand prayer life. It is not believing that neither good nor evil exists because those are only judgments. It is not accepting that everything is in divine order and will run its course without your participation. It is not refraining from seeing what is going on in your world because you've been told it's all an illusion anyway. I am not saying that there is no truth in any of that. What I'm saying is that spirituality is not an inherent aspect of any. The spiritual level on which you will change your leaders from being darkly ruled themselves to people worthy of being leaders, true leaders with spiritual integrity, is within your hearts. That's your usual depiction of where love resides, is it not? Actually, the sensation of love is a province of the soul, but it has strong physical effects at the heart that instantly spread throughout your entirety to uplift you in spirit, mind and body. Love starts with self, with living so that loving self is as natural as breathing. Only then can you give and receive love. Love is contagious, unlimited, omnipresent. It is what changes bleakness of spirit into fullness of spirit, illness into health, lack into prosperity. It is the absence of love that breeds all the woes of your world, and it is filling the void with love that will cure the woes. This is not asking you to love what brings misery and deprivation and harm. It is asking you to simply feel love so you can send forth that energy. It will seek its way to the void. The second level is mental, deeply thinking to discern what is truth and what isn't instead of buying into what candidates say. The catch is, what information is truthful and what is not. What sources can be trusted? You have been deceived for eons by a few souls in one generation after another whose intent is to retain the control over you, so access to the truth is not easily come by. How can I put this so it is not a series of don'ts? Always, I prefer to be positive in statements, and I've already compromised that by my explaining what being spiritual isn't. Very well, I know how to proceed. Think of what you want in your world. If that is peace and harmony and cooperation, that's where to focus your thoughts. What will bring that to the world? Think of what will, respect and dignity for all races and faiths and genders. Help wherever help is needed. Equitable sharing of Earth's massive riches. Cures of all diseases. Education, fulfilling work and comfortable homes for everyone. Honesty, kindness, compassion, fairness, harmony, sharing, justness, forgiveness. Think of all those qualities and circumstances and let your heart and conscience guide you to the candidates you most closely identify with them. The words of campaign promises are worthless without a candidate's heart and soul in them. Let your heart and soul, not just your eyes and ears, lead you to the persons who exemplify the love and light that's needed to uplift your world. The third level is action. If you want leaders whom you trust and respect, work toward that end. Publicly and financially support the people you want in office, but if that isn't possible, then put forth your intention through the power of your energy focused on those persons actually holding the positions. I can't emphasize too strongly the power of intent. You can be sure that the current people in power will have their supporters actively working because those folks get the trickle-down largesse in exchange. You who want love, peace and harmony will receive those incomparably greater victories in exchange for the energy you put forth to create them. Thank you, Mother. And now we return to our statement that you are feeling what is happening more so than seeing it. No one is immune to the effects of the highest vibrations that bodies ever have had to adjust to. This is all to the benefit of everyone who is absorbing light. Their cells are transitioning from carbon structure to crystalline, and if uncomfortable physical, emotional or mental sensations are adjustment related, they will pass. The most unsettling effect may be momentary memory loss. Perhaps you can't remember the name of someone you know well, or a specific word eludes you. When you walk out of a room or get into your car, you forget where you intended to go and why. Or maybe, once you are in the grocery store, you can think of the item you went there to buy. If you are experiencing those or similar kinds of lapses, dear ones, please do not fret about it. Mother, please copy what our friend from a highly advanced civilization said about this memory situation. Readers may appreciate hearing from another source the same information that we would give. Simonton's explanation during one of our conversations in 2003 is in the chapter by that name in Illuminations for a New Era. You decry the loss of time that seems to be zipping by, and another loss you lament is memory. Neither of these aspects of third-dimensional awareness is being lost, dear ones. Time never has been as you devised it, with 24 hours each day and 12 months in a year and so forth. This has served you well, but no longer is this happening. Your time structure is collapsing as energy is moving at its lighter density speed, and your periods of light and dark are coming with more velocity. So rather than time being lost, it is speeding up. The memories that many of you speak of as gone, are not. With the acceleration of everything within the universe, it is natural that the cells of your body are reacting to being lifted into a higher survival mode. Most of all, this is affecting your brains, the computers that turn on your thinking and reasoning processes, and this is necessary. The light being absorbed by your cells is allowing your brains to slough the layers of forgetfulness and programming that have denied them full functioning ability. If you are not experiencing any memory loss or a sense of scattered thinking, then you are stuck in the third density that not much longer will be the status of Earth's being. So it is desirable for you to feel not quite firmly in touch with the reality of the day or the environment. Thank you, Mother. The prevailing vibrations also are changing physical needs, and along with expanding your conscious and spiritual awareness, accommodating your body's requirements is of paramount importance. Sufficient sleep is essential. Give your body the rejuvenation time it needs to perform well. Drinking a lot of pure water also is essential. It helps to eliminate the toxins you absorb through your polluted environment and adulterated foods, and it helps to keep body's electrical systems working properly. Exercise in accordance with physical ability aids in those respects too, and it helps circulatory and respiratory systems to behave smoothly. If you aren't as hungry as you used to be, that's good. The more light in a body, the less food it needs. Eat wisely. Fresh fruit and vegetables, foods that contain the most light, will hasten crystalline cellular growth and boost energy levels. Cut back on dairy products. They do not contain the nutritional value that is claimed, and they clog circulatory systems. If you aren't ready to eliminate meat and seafood from the menu, reduce the quantity. Most food animals live and die in horrible conditions, and the energy of their traumas is passed on to consumers. Please understand that this is meant only to enlighten you, and in no way is it intended as criticism of non-vegetarians. Contrary to your expression sugar high, digesting processed sugars lowers energy levels. Choose whole grain cereals and breads, and if you have no allergies to nuts, almonds and walnuts are the best choices. All well and good if chocolate, coffee and tea cravers are having no ill effects from caffeine. However, if you are having digestive problems, caffeine may be a contributor. Drinking red wine in moderate amount can enhance the bloodstream. This suggestion does not apply to persons who have drinking problems. And sodas are not good for anyone. Those are general diet guidelines for a typically healthy person, but the bottom line is, pay attention to your body. It will tell you what it needs for optimum operation. In blessing your food, asking that it serve your highest good and feeling grateful for the plants and animals that provided it adds light to whatever you are eating. Doing that silently is as effective as audibly. During this stage of adjusting to lighter energy, mood swings and phases of inertia or unusual nervousness are natural, and drugs prescribed to relieve those conditions instead exacerbate them. If you are taking medications for other health issues, talk with your caregiver about dosage reduction. Even better, ask if remedies with natural ingredients can offer the same measure of treatment. The proliferation of chemicals in drugs and engineered food interferes with body's self-healing mechanisms and other natural processes, and that makes it difficult to maintain balance. Find out if fatigue and other distress may be due to an imbalance in hormone levels or body chemistry. If so, learn which natural supplements can treat the condition. We cannot emphasize too strongly the importance of balance. The universe is in a constant balancing act, and so is every life form within it. However, for the long ages that darkness enshrouded Earth, the planet and her residents were severely deprived of the light that attaining balance requires. If you think of the balancing act as an internal teeter-totter that is perpetually moving in accordance with your condition in body, mind and spirit, you can see that the optimal motion is gentle rocking. Meditation is especially helpful in maintaining or regaining that motion, and there are ways other than sitting in silence or listening to lovely sounds composed especially for achieving a relaxing meditative state. Spend time out in nature, enjoy the companionship of animals, read poetry. Listen to your favorite music, unless it's heavy metal, which shatters balance, and the tones of classical compositions are the most effective in restoring balance. Make time for solitude, even a brief period can be restorative. Laughter is good for the soul, and so is anything that evokes feelings of tranquility. In leisure time, choose light-hearted reading and the same quality of TV programs and movies. Spend time with dear friends and family. When it is impossible to avoid unpleasant encounters, envisioning light permeating the situation will help to alleviate stressfulness. Give thanks for blessings in your life. Gratitude, like hope and optimism, is filled with light. The prevailing vibrations also are intensifying energetic differences, and many individuals are feeling a strong desire to make a major change. Perhaps look for a different job, end a relationship or start one, pursue a new field of studies, relocate to an area you know or maybe a place you know of but never have visited. We are not speaking about rashly acting upon an impulse, but rather heeding a growing sense of urgency to act upon an idea that has been simmering. This is the soul speaking increasingly loudly to the consciousness. This is what you chose in your soul contract. Why are we offering guidance that we have mentioned, albeit more briefly, in previous messages or is available in any number of down-to-earth sources? We are telling you, our beloved Earth family, please take care of yourselves. The energy streamers that will be swirling with increasing forcefulness are prime opportunities to absorb light, and the sounder you are physically, mentally and emotionally, the more greatly you will benefit. You chose this lifetime so you could participate in your world's transformation and spiritual renewal, and soul evolvement is the purpose of every lifetime. Both require balance in body, mind and spirit. Letting mundane matters interfere with self-care or ignoring your soul's messages causes imbalance, and that dims your light, the light you need to experience what you chose and to evolve. Dear ones, love yourselves as much as we love you, and take care of yourselves. Love and peace. Suzanne Ward. www.matthewbooks.com